here to show you a little snippet of what we did one afternoon this week. We were actually doing some sorting. So we were pulling out some of our ewes that weren't as fit as some of the others. So they were a bit thin. So it means that we can bring them and put them into a separate field and give them a bit more feed and help sort of fitten them up a bit. The reason it was a slightly more interesting is that the field that we were going to sort the ewes out didn't have the best setup in the world. So we kind of had to think around that. We had to do a bit of gate lugging and a bit of thinking and chopping and changing until we got a system where we could sort them out a bit easier. Do you have anything else to add, Lils, before we get started?
For the most of it, I had to put the camera down, so I couldn't film the actual bit where we got going.
That is very, very true, actually. Once we got going and we had a system, we actually needed the children. So the bit, once we actually did sort ourselves out, you had to put the camera down because you were a bit of use, weren't you? Yeah. What will we do without you when you're not in lockdown anymore? So first job when we arrived at the field was to head up to the pen, which was at the top of the hill. And whilst we were heading up that way, we decided to sort of lug one of the gates up with us that was down at the bottom of the hill. The sheep, the ewes are following us because we've got a bag of, my dad's got a bag of barley on his back. So that was probably the easiest way to get them into the pen for them to follow him in, and then I just ran back and chased the rest in. Once we were in there, we tied them up. These are Massams and mules. Massams are a personal favourite breed of mine. I absolutely love Massams. And then we needed to lug another gate from the other side, and we did a bit of a switch around because basically we needed to try and make a pen in a pen. So we used this big red gate to block up some of the machinery that's in this shed here, and then we swapped it for the two smaller green gates that are currently blocking up the machinery to make a pen in this top corner, which you'll see now. We then got some of the ewes in, sort of pen them in. You can see us doing that now, ready to sort of sort through. So once we had them in there, it was a bit like, right, we need to sort the thin ones out from the fit ones.
So jump over the wall.
As Ben just getting a bit of a telling off for being a bit silly, which is what he sometimes does.
Quiet. Are you listening?
So here you can see my dad just sort of feeling them on the back there to feel whether they're thin. If they're a bit thin, then what we decided to do was keep them in the pen, and we decided to send any that were out that were fit to send them out of the pen. This is the bit where we kind of started to have a bit of a discussion about what was the best way to do it, the easiest way to do it without causing a massive headache. At this point we decided we were going to send them out through this gate, and I was just covering the gap, but obviously this was just going to be ridiculous. It's going to be too much effort, and we had to really sort of think of a much better system that would be a lot more efficient and quicker. And this is the bit where the kids had to put the camera down to actually help us, because they watched the gate and we actually brought them out the other way. So here are our thin ewes to bring back home. So there were just 12 to bring back home altogether. So we were able to bring those in the trailer so we can give them a bit more feed. This next clip amused me because I discovered it in the middle of everything else, Ben rolling down a hill. Standard entertain yourself whilst we're doing something. And then this one I came out to discover them in the yard just having some kind of stick fight. So I thought you'd do that because it's just what you do. Find a stick and hit each other with it.